What's good, everybody? It's the Connor with Cap Show. We got Game 3 of the NBA Finals. It is tied up. Boston, Golden State. I see this really right now going 7 games. It really depends which Golden State Warriors team's going to show up. Right now, I would lean more towards Boston for Game 3. Why? Because it's in Boston, and they stole Game 1. And Boston fans, they have to understand that they know that they got away with one in Game 1. Golden State got away from it. They let off the gas, but you live and learn. But I think for Game 3, what are the X factors for both teams? Obviously, Golden State, they got to stick to their game plan, right? They got to stick. Steph Curry, just keep attacking and not just always settling from three. Steph can get to the bucket whenever he wants to. That's the thing. If I'm Coach Steve Kerr, he did a great job in Game 2, a lot better in Game 3. I just think as a coach, yes, if you're up 20, 25 plus, 20 over 20, yes, you can afford to take Steph out. But in Game 1, they're up like 15. He takes them out, and then we saw what happened. But I just think for Steph Curry, just doing what you do. But Klay Thompson, he's got to show up. If Golden State Warriors want to win the NBA Finals this year, it has to start with Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson's got to hit his shots, man. You know, in Game 2, he did not look too good. There were some moments where it's like, oh, man, like, where's Klay Thompson been, dude? And I understand he's been hurt and all that. Yes, he had 11 points, but he was 1 for 8 from the three-point land. It's like, dude, 1 for 8, that's not Klay Thompson like. It really isn't. I just think for him, it was like, oh, man, I think he's really getting in back a swing of things and just in that rhythm, in the flow and all that. But Klay Thompson, he's got to show up. You know, if I look at the bench, I would definitely roll with Boston's bench a little bit better than Golden State's bench. You know, you got guys like Derek White coming off the bench and really performing great. You know, scoring really whenever he wants, hitting big shots. Didn't really have the best game in Game 3 as much as he did in Game 2, but he's still balling. He had 12 points off the bench. He was 4 for 14. 4 for 13, not the best for Derek White coming off the bench. But then you have Grant Williams. I mean, I just think they're a little bit deeper for Boston's sake. Yes, and I get it. You know, Golden State Warriors, they got it. They got the MO. They got Porter Jr. coming off the bench, where I think Otto Porter should play a little bit more. If you ask me, if I'm Coach Steve Kerr, I'm telling Porter in Game 3, look, we might need you to come in and play more minutes than what he's playing right now. I think he deserves that, man. Porter's no joke. I like what he's doing for that team, but, you know, for a Poole as well. I think Jordan Poole, you know, we saw in Game 2, he really had a great game this game. He really did. He stepped up when he needed to and really didn't force things. He had 17 points, 6 for 14 from the field. I just think for Jordan Poole, don't force things. In Game 2, he didn't really force things. We saw that half-court shot that he hit, which was crazy, right? It was insane, but I think Golden State right now, they understand what's at stake, and I think the X factor for Golden State to win this game is definitely Draymond Green. It's Draymond, and a lot of people were saying in Game 2, Draymond should have been kicked out. He kicked Jaylen Brown in the head. All right, chill out here. I don't think he really did that on purpose. If he wanted to kick him in the head, I think he really would have done it with full force, more force than what he did. I really do believe that. I think for Draymond, he's got to stay level-headed. If Draymond gets ejected out of the game, dude, I think, you know, that's it for them, dude. I think they're going to lose the game. They need Draymond. Draymond is the heart and soul for Golden State. He's that guy that's going to get in your face, and he's not scared of you. And I think Draymond, he's one of those few cats that could have played back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, dude. He really could have. Draymond is no joke. He's not scared of anybody. He will get in your face, and I love that about Draymond. But there's another side to it as well, where it's like, you got to stay level-headed. You can't afford to get another tech, Draymond. You can't afford to get ejected from a game or suspended from a game. We go back to the 2016 finals. You know, they're up 3-1. Draymond suspended Game 5, and we saw what happened. LeBron and the Cavs, they came back and won the series. First team ever coming back from a 3-1 deficit in NBA Finals history. It's crazy. And I think that really started with Draymond missing Game 5. I think if Draymond starts there, I think, you know, we're looking at a different story, a different history here. But, you know, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, Golden State, they got to bring it. They cannot come cold here. And I think for Boston, they're going to come ready. And it really starts, you know, obviously with some of their key players, Jason Tatum. I think for him, he's got to get hot. You're playing in Boston. There's no more excuses now. So I think Boston should feel good right now coming in here. Really, tied up 1-1. And really, we look at Golden State and say, man, they should be up 2-0 right now. They really should, but Jason Tatum, I think he's going to have a great game in Game 3. And then obviously Jaylen Brown, he's got to step up as well. And I think he has in this finals, and not just his finals, all the playoffs. Jaylen Brown's really proved to me that he can be a star player in the league someday. But Al Horford, only 2 points in Game 2. Dude, and he had 26 in Game 1. I think that was the difference right there for Boston. The players did not show up when they needed to, including Al Horford. Yes, 8 rebounds, but only 2 points. Al Horford, man, he's got to get more active here. And in Game 2, he was more passive. He wasn't really aggressive. The foot wasn't on the gas. So I just think for Al Horford in Boston, you gotta come out and play here. You can't afford to have a bad game. You know, Game 2, I mean, really, if Boston would have played well, they could have made this a game and really come down to the wire. But Boston did not show up late in the second half, which was crazy. And then Marcus Smart. I think Marcus Smart, getting the flow of things. But I just think right now, obviously, I'm going to Golden State. And I think, Wiggins as well. He's just super athletic, and he can lock down people. And I like that matchup with Wiggins and Jaylen Brown. I think that's a great matchup. That's such a great matchup. And obviously, guys like Kevin Looney for Golden State and Andre Iguodala. He is questionable for Game 3. We saw flashes of him in the past couple games. I think that's big for Golden State. Andre Iguodala, he's a veteran, been in the NBA for a long time. He won with Golden State, so he's a champion. And I expect him, if he doesn't play in Game 3, he will play in Game 4. We will see a little bit of Andre Iguodala. Obviously not a ton of minutes coming off an injury. He's a little older. He's a vet. But I just think it boils down to Steph Curry here. Steph Curry, he's so gifted, dude. He can get space. He can really do whatever he wants on the court. And I think really what surprises me with Steph Curry right now in the NBA Finals is his defensive play. And we look at Steph Curry's defensive play in the regular season, not the best. There's some times where Curry just, I wouldn't say give up, but he doesn't have that knack really for defense. And I would say for a lot of NBA players out there. And that was kind of Steph's weakness as well. But right now in the playoffs in the NBA Finals, I think Steph has really improved his defense where it's like, dude, he can block shots now. He can play defense. He can, one-on-one this guy. So I just think that's really improved for Steph. But, what Steph does great, we see it day in and day out. His shooting, his separation, just his smoothness. Steph doesn't need to jump high. He doesn't need to do crazy things. What he can do, he's got the sauce. He can separate anybody. Nobody can really guard Steph. You can contain him. You could double, triple team him, whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, Steph's going to get his. Game 1, Steph had 34. In Game 2, he had 29. I think Steph, when Golden State Warriors win the NBA Finals this year, Steph Curry will get his first NBA Finals MVP. Well-deserved, Steph. He'll have 4 NBA championships, including Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. I just think for Steph Curry, the legacy's there. It's already there. I think Steph Curry, if you ask me, he's the top 5 greatest NBA players to ever play the game. Now, a lot of people would disagree. I just think the way he's changed the game of basketball, 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't just, hey, I'm going to come down and shoot this three, the 40-footer. And yes, you guys can do dunks. You can do windmills. That's only 2 points. My 3-point is going to outweigh your 2, and that's what's just going to happen. That's what Golden State does great. And I think Coach Steve Kerr understands what's at stake here. They've been here. The experience is going to play. The deeper the series gets, the more experience is going to play, and that's going to lean more towards Golden State. Now, in Game 3, I think Boston can really get to Game 3. I really do. If they play like they did in Game 1, this is going to go nail-biter. I just think for Golden State, they got to stick to what they're good at, obviously scoring, but as well in the past recent, month, their defense has stepped up. And I think Golden State realizes, look, if we play great defense, our offense is going to come no matter what. We're going to get buckets. We're going to be able to do what we do. And that's just that. I just think for Golden State, man, just don't try to overdo things. Same thing with Boston. Boston should not feel a lot of pressure right here. Technically Boston should be down 2-0 right now. So if I'm a Boston player, I'm thinking, man, I'm kind of feeling good right now. We're Game 3. It's at home. Everything's in the flow. I just think for Boston, if you lose one and go back to Golden State, tied up 2-2, I'm kind of assuming that Golden State's going to win in 6 or 7, just like I predicted before Game 1. I just think Game 1 was crazy. I kind of had doubts a little bit after Game 1, but I saw, Draymond Green firing up his teammates saying, we're never going to give up here. This is only one game. This is a long series. The job is not done yet. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's go back to the basics. And Draymond, man, I'm telling you, dude, he's that guy. Draymond and Steph, to me, are the most important players on Golden State, okay? Those 2 men right there. Draymond and Steph, and I just think what Steph's going to do in game 3, I think it's going to be great, dude. I really do. I think Steph's going to go off. I think he's going to go for 35, 40 points over. I would even consider him going over 40. I know that might sound ridiculous and say, Steph Curry, come on. We've seen it all the time, and Steph knows he's in his prime right now. Steph Curry is in his prime. He's really just building and continuing to get better, and he's making his teammates better around him. So I'm going to go Golden State in Game 3. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose. Now, I predict Game 5, when it goes back to Golden State, I think it'll be 2-2. The series would be tied up 2-2, and I think this is going to come down to the nail-biter, either Game 6 or Game 7. I'd love to see it go 7 games just for NBA's sake, for all the fans around the world. But like I said, I'm sticking to my MO. I'm sticking to the cream of the crop. The Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry will win the NBA Finals, like I've been telling you guys from day one. And you guys are going to cash out a lot of checks, baby. So I got Golden State in Game 3. Like I said, if they don't win Game 3, they will win Game 4. I think it'll be tied up 2-2 in Game 5. But I cannot wait, baby. Let's go, Golden State Warriors. Take off Steph Curry. It's the Clowning with Cab show. Let's go!